Could the San Antonio Spurs be gearing up for a massive splash in the trade market? With Victor Wembanyama poised to take over as the face of the franchise, the Spurs might look to surround their generational talent with more star power. And one name that's been floating around as a potential target is Lauri Markkanen of the Utah Jazz. Markkanen, who earned his first All-Star selection this past season, has quietly been one of the NBA's most improved players over the last few years. After being traded to Utah in the Donovan Mitchell blockbuster, he's blossomed into a legitimate offensive weapon. His ability to stretch the floor as a 6'11" forward while also being a potent scorer inside has turned him into a coveted asset. But despite the Jazz's rising star, there have been whispers that they might be willing to listen to offers for Markkanen. Although Utah hasn't actively been shopping their all-star, the team is entering a crucial phase in its rebuild. With the Jazz looking to position themselves for the future, they could be open to making a trade that accelerates their path to contending. Markkanen is a terrific player, but if the right deal comes along, the Jazz might pull the trigger. Bailey dives deep into the rationale behind such a trade, highlighting Utah's current position as a team in flux. After a rebuild that has spanned several years following the departure of stars Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, the Jazz are still searching for that one foundational piece to build around. Despite the presence of talented young players, they haven't yet hit on a draft pick that looks like a surefire future star. And while the Jazz did engage in a full-fledged tank last season, they still ended up with the 5th overall pick, missing out on the chance to land Cooper Flagg, a generational prospect that could have been the centerpiece of their rebuild. This lack of a clear franchise player could push the Jazz to reconsider their strategy. Bailey suggests that Utah could either continue to develop their young core, hoping someone breaks out, or they could go the more aggressive route by trading Markkanen and adding a few win-now pieces. The proposed deal with the Spurs would be a clear signal of a rebuild, with the Jazz acquiring Vassell, a young, versatile forward who can be an immediate contributor and potentially flipped for further assets. Plus, the added draft capital in the form of 3 future first-round picks would help Utah stockpile more resources for the future. On the other side, the Spurs would be getting a player who fits perfectly alongside Victor Wembanyama. If San Antonio can't land a superstar like Giannis Antetokounmpo in the near future, Markkanen would be an excellent consolation prize. The big Finnish forward's versatility as both a shooter and a finisher would complement Wembanyama's game beautifully. Imagine Markkanen stretching the floor and drawing defenders out, while Wembanyama works his magic in the paint, creating endless mismatches. The Spurs could become a nightmare matchup for any team, with 2 offensive juggernauts capable of scoring in a variety of ways. The question remains, would this trade package be enough to sway the Jazz's front office? For a player like Markkanen, who's coming off an all-star season and is still in the prime of his career, it's not a stretch to think Utah might demand more. However, the price of giving up a young, promising piece like Vassell along with 3 first-round picks is not insignificant. The Jazz are in the middle of a rebuild, and while Markkanen could help them win now, it may be more prudent to trade him for long-term assets that could help them build a sustainable contender down the line. For the Spurs, the move would be a bold, aggressive step forward. Adding Markkanen to a team already featuring Wembanyama would make them one of the most intriguing teams in the Western Conference, possibly even forcing them into immediate playoff contention. If the Spurs are serious about surrounding their prized rookie with the right pieces, this trade could be just what they need to make the leap from rebuilding to competing. Ultimately, the success of this trade hinges on whether the Jazz are truly committed to the long-term vision of their rebuild. If they are, dealing Markkanen for future assets could accelerate that timeline. But for the Spurs, acquiring Markkanen would fast-track their pursuit of another championship contender alongside Wembanyama, and it would solidify their status as a team to watch in the years to come. This potential trade may not be the blockbuster everyone expects, but it could be one of the smartest moves made this offseason. Either way, it would signal the Spurs are ready to get serious about building a contender around their phenom.